like to play good thing, bad thing. Because every story has a flip side. And our story begins, just about a year ago, where the Palo Alto startup Theranos was promising patients we might soon be able to run diagnostic blood tests for cholesterol levels or kidney problems using a single drop or two of blood harvested by a nearly painless pinprick to your finger. And even better, Theranos promised you could have this no-hassle blood drawn done at your nearest Walgreens or your Safeway at a fraction of the cost of traditional blood tests. At its high point, the company's value had rocketed to $9 billion. That in Silicon Valley uses a term for that. It's called a unicorn. Well, today, Theranos is under federal investigation, and its California lab may be shut down. So what could be so bad about a Silicon Valley startup promising to change the face of patient care? Here to weigh the pros and cons is Dr. Eric Topol, a cardiologist and director of the Scripps Translational Science Institute in La Jolla, California. Welcome back to the show, Eric.
Hi, Ira. Great to be with you.
You were an early proponent of the work Theranos was doing. What was exciting about their project?
Well, you mentioned it in the intro. That is the good part, which is the idea of having very inexpensive, very tiny quantities of blood. The idea of getting this done direct to consumers to get the results back to them. So it really was democratizing laboratory medicine. And this is a field that hadn't changed in many decades. So it was a fresh perspective, very creative, something that we actually need. Those were all the good parts.
And the fact that it was coming out of Silicon Valley, not your normal bio center.
Yes, that's true. And I actually, back in 2013, I had the test. I actually had over 50 lab tests. And, it was done in minutes. And I was impressed the results were consistent with what I would have expected, having had a recent lab panel. So I had tested it, but I started to see some of the downsides, which was the remarkable secrecy, the lack of any transparency with respect to the technology. And here it is, 3 years later, there still hasn't been a peer-reviewed publication of any of the Theranos data from Theranos, comparing it to the reference laboratory central facilities.
So we don't know if, because there's been no test, we don't know how it compares to more standardized testing.
Exactly. There have been some publications recently, suggesting from Mount Sinai, as well as the CMS data, that, of course, the accuracy was a significant concern. But there hasn't been a large head-to-head study that's been done independently or by Theranos to finally settle the score.
And why do you think that is? What is the fear here, if there is any?
Yeah, that's a really good question. It's long overdue. In the conversations I had with Elizabeth, she was taking the route of going through the FDA rather than peer review. And I think that was a big mistake. I think the medical community needs to be assured that the results obtained with the so-called nanotainer, this tiny amount of blood, are going to be very accurate. And it's great that they cost less, and great that the results can go right back to the person, but they have to be accurate, because a lot of key medical decisions are made on the basis of these results.
That was Elizabeth Holmes you were talking about, the CEO.
Yes.
Is there a way out of this morass for them, and a lesson for other startups?
Yeah, that's another important issue, is can they survive? They have brought on a real scientific advisory board with leaders in laboratory medicine who say there's something there, although we still don't know what it is. And if they start to publish and they start to get the accuracy issues on track, I guess they will make it. But obviously they've been under siege, and very significant issues that have cropped up regarding the CMS review and all these other things that are questionable whether they'll be able to pull through it.
Right. Well, we'll keep watching and get back to you, Eric. Thanks for taking time to join us again.
Thank you.
Eric Topol is a cardiologist and director of the Scripps Translational Institute in La Jolla, California. We're going to take a break, come back, and talk about our reliance on GPS directions. Whoa, do we not? Everything, GPS is everywhere. Has it sent you down a blind alley? It's actually been involved in the deaths of a few people. And also it's changing our brains, how our brains may be wired, because, we're just taking directions. We'll be right back after this break. Stay with us. later, this is Science Friday from PRI.
WNYC receives support from CUNY TV, presenting Science Goes to the Movies, made possible by the Alfred P. Sloan Foundation. This week, a planetary scientist discusses the realities faced in The Martian. Premieres tonight at 7:30. Info at cuny.tv. WNYC is a media partner of the Public Theater, presenting Free Shakespeare in Central Park, beginning with an all-female production of The Taming of the Shrew, May 24th through June 26th. Tickets at publictheater.org.